going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Screen Time Continuum. I am Nick, and I am joined with the boys as always. Keelan, how you doing?
Doing well, doing well. How you doing over there, brother? How you feeling?
Good man, good man. Happy Sunday to you, and happy Sunday to Big Mike. How's it going, bro?
Maxing and chillaxing.
Always good to hear that. Definitely.
Absolutely.
And thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate all of you out there. Tonight, we're going to be giving you your daily dose of ennui and despair with The Last of Us, episode 5, which actually aired on Friday because I think they wanted to avoid the big game that's happening or that happened today. So we are kind of a couple days behind on it, but we'll be back on Sundays to cover it when it goes back to its normally scheduled programming. We'll give you a light spoiler warning now. It is a couple days old, but we're going to be talking about all of episode 5 right now. So if you don't want to be spoiled, turn back now, come back and hit the replay when you've watched it. If you don't mind being spoiled or if you've seen it, join us for this discussion. We're going to jump right into it, gentlemen. I'm going to ask you for your first impressions for episode 5. Are you thoroughly depressed yet?
I am not depressed.
Yeah.
I finally got to see something happen.
All right.
That's a point. That's actually a real point. I endured and survived episode 5. I can't say that I am morbid about episode 5. However, yeah, there's only one thing about episode 5 I really enjoyed, and it was short-lived. Much more short-lived than it should have been.
Is that a pun?
Maybe. Maybe unintentionally, but yeah, possibly, yeah.
Well, there was a short person who didn't live very long, so yeah.
You mean?
Yeah. Corey's here. He's thanks for joining us, Corey. It says favorite episode. All right. Okay.
Right.
All right.
I understand, actually.
All right. Well, give us your opinions there, Mike. You seem to think that it's a great episode. Why don't you expound on that? Why did you like it so much?
Man, there was people getting killed against with unnatural means. It wasn't just gunshots, even though there was plenty of that. You got to see mushroom head zombies and whatever they're called, clickers, because they're not zombies. And then we got to see the one dude with the big monster came out and they ripped the dude's head off, and that was dope. And then all the black people died.
All right, fair enough. Yeah. Keelan, what did you want to expound on your first impressions there?
I'm disappointed in Mike right now. I want to say that first and foremost. Not because he brought up the fact that all the black people died, but because he, didn't say
diversity.
Big Bang. No, I just thought you was gonna say that as like the Big Bang for later or something.
Oh,
I think that's gonna be a part of your intro. So that's a part of my intro for this episode. My first impressions on this episode. But my first impressions on episode 5. I don't understand what they had to endure, and they damn sure didn't survive. That's for sure. I thought having the title was going to help me understand the episode a little better, because typically we watch it as soon as it comes out and we don't get the title until like an hour after we even shoot our review. But that didn't help any. More action than I thought, but not as much action as it could have been. I don't really know where else to go with this first thought thing as far as this episode is concerned. So I made it through it. I don't know.
You endured. You survived. Fantastic. Yeah.
I endured.
Right. I think I'm somewhere in between your guys' level in the spectrum of enthusiasm. I did appreciate that we didn't. I was kind of worried because the first 20 minutes of this were exactly like episode 3, and I was like, "Oh, is this going to be a bottle episode?"
Right.
Are we not going to see Ellie and Joel? And thankfully, we do. And that's where things I think pick up a little bit more. It was nice to see zombies, that's for sure. I'm not going to complain about that. And I like the way that they sort of introduced them into the story because it made sense and it was sort of referenced prior. So yeah, I liked it. I thought it was decent. But the overall tone of this show is, again, I think just not to my taste. I don't necessarily dislike it. I think it's fun. But it's also, I don't know if I'd voluntarily rewatch. And that's saying something. I don't know what it's saying per se, but for me, I think that means something, that I wouldn't be stoked to rewatch this. It feels like sort of like drama porn, kind of drama porn, a little bit, where it's like, let's just think of the worst case scenarios and then present them, and then we get a pat on our back because we're being dramatic,
right? And because we made it out of it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Corey here got he said the autonomous zone lasted 12 days. I kept wondering where the threat of the infected went. This episode brought it back, right?
Yeah.
That's true. I'm glad that it brought the infected back, because I was very worried we were going to get like a bottle-like episode where it's just about the depravity of the humans around. And thankfully, we had like a mushroom ex machina at the end where the zombies just killed everybody for us. So,
man, that's my biggest fear for any zombie related show or movie now is I don't care how they interact with other people anymore.
I know.
I'm so inundated with the drama of surviving people that it's like you lose the effect of how do you survive a fucking apocalypse full of zombies.
You don't want to meet any more survivors. That's real though, and it's well, as much as I agree with
survivors, but they focus too much on it.
Right, and that's what I was gonna say. I'm like, but then it becomes the purpose of the show, and ironically, I feel like that's what we're gonna get next episode. And at this point, that's what we're getting every single episode. We'll meet somebody, we kill them. We meet somebody, we kill them. We meet somebody, we kill them. I don't even have to say. I think that's what we're getting. We saw the preview already for next episode, so we know that's what we're getting. And the tip of the hat there is we finally find the person we're looking for. So hopefully we get some real good stuff after that. But I didn't expect this episode to have such a rise and decline and then back to a rise type of a situation. We started off, in my opinion, pretty hot. Like you got a good background. You started to understand what was going on. You understood a little bit of why. You saw that transition. And then you just saw everybody's psychopath come out.
Right.
Like on both sides, to be very clear. Like that's all that you saw for this whole episode.
Well, I thought you saw a softer side of Joel too, though. He didn't want to shoot that old man.
No. Well, here's the deal. Joel hasn't wanted to shoot and hurt anybody.
You don't think so?
Let's be no.
No, I don't think he does.
If he has
he
to,
will.
I think that was the thing. Is this episode was to? That's why I say everybody's psycho, everybody's crazy came out. You realize Joel's not crazy. He's not even cold-hearted. He's just doing what needs to be done and not really sitting there trying to talk about it. Talking about it makes it more difficult. Talking about it breaks the brain even more, and it proves how insane you are that you'll sit and talk about all of these. Like, oh, you ever kill anybody? Like, why do I want to talk about that?
Plus, I mean, every time you do try to make a friend with somebody, they either try to kill you or they kill themselves.
Yeah.
So,
what's the point? Yeah.
Ouch.
I mean, in this show.
Right. Not in real life.
Well, I hope not in real life.
Hey, man, it's the internet. We can get clipped and somebody be like, look at the kind of stuff these gentlemen are promoting.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
So
Hollywood product, you mean?
Right.
Oh, wait. So that could be a good thing. Never mind. Say it again.
Hollywood product.
Hollywood product. All right. This episode starts with sort of the fall of the Kansas City quarantine zone from the hands of Fedra and then given to the hands of La Resistance, and the people take back the city and everything's so much better. Which of course we find out is not much better than Fedra because it's run by psychopaths, like Keelan was saying, and in a post-apocalyptic world everybody's evil, so there's that. Yeah. And then we sort of get introduced to Sam and his brother Henry, or Henry and his brother Sam, either way you want to dice it. Sam is a survivor of leukemia and also deaf, and his brother Henry was a high-ranking person in the resistance who was forced to give up his the leader of the resistance in order to get medicine to save his brother's life. And that's why he's being hunted in Kansas City. That's why the sister Karen, Mega Karen, has a problem with him, because Henry gave up her brother, and that's why she's got an axe to grind with him. And basically, we kind of the story is Sam, Joel, and Henry and Ellie have to escape Kansas City, and yeah. So where do you guys want to? Do you guys want to touch on anything? I got Corey here. Says don't go on a personal revenge quest and forget about the massive underground horde that they knew about from the last episode. I'm glad we the people got eaten.
Yeah. I was glad when that came back full circle for sure. I was like,
I kind of thought that was gonna be I thought they were gonna execute that a little differently, though. To be honest,
I did too, especially with them going through the tunnels. But we'll traverse. I don't know. I think the whole Kathleen saga through this, like just seeing how insane she was the whole time. I appreciated how at the end her general, or her whatever you want to call the guy, how he let it be known, like, we all respected your brother and we all thought he was a real great dude, but we follow you.
Right. Because he was ineffective.
Effective at what? Killing people?
Ineffective at making actual change. Yeah. So I give that.
Yeah, so killing people. Yeah.
Yeah, I just get a weird sort of like feeling about this resistance thing. It's like, well, the guy, the brother, couldn't have been a better person than Kathleen. He must have been just as brutal.
I think the question is, I think it comes to a question of what is brutal and what is necessary.
So the only reason that Kansas City descended into another hellhole after Fedra is because Kathleen's brother died, and nobody thought to put a bullet in Kathleen's head.
Well,
that would have solved everything.
All the people that would put a bullet in her head believed in her and trusted and followed her.
But for why?
That part I can't tell
you. That's kind of what I'm going with, because I'm like, okay, so we didn't actually see her form a coup or a resistance, so we just have to take it on the show's word that they implicitly and just explicitly trust her for whatever.
She's the only one that knew how to form Voltron.
Right. Yeah, she had the secret formula from little Annie's Ovaltine or whatever.
That's right. She knew where to find the mithril.
She had the decoder ring. That's what it is.
You guys are brutal this week.
I don't know, man.
Just saying. Sorry. But yeah, she's just Kathleen was just obsessed with Henry, but to see how crazy she was from the very beginning, like she tells the whole group of people, oh, we're not going to kill you. We just want information. But then she taunts them, which is why everybody else shut up except for the one rat. And I think when you get to that point, when you do what you originally do and you have your reasons for it, like we might feel how we feel about you, but you have your reasons. When you turn on the people you already turned on, it's like, all right, bro, you just deserve death.
It's the most historically accurate portrayal that they could have given. Every revolution does that. Every time.
Everybody just wants to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to live.
If we know you a rat, you gonna rat on us. You gonna rat on them. You a rat. Rat.
All of it. Now, don't get me wrong. It's like, that's why, not mad about that part. But at the same time, this is a TV show. So on the TV show side of things, you're looking at it and you're like, so how did that push your story forward, Catherine?
Plus, it's kind of flimsy too, because we haven't seen Fedra do anything bad.
Well, they said that this Fedra in where they are was like a mafia more than it was a federal government. So they do make that kind of a distinction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This bad Fedra, other Fedra fine.
Bad Fedra.
Well, I mean, they're not connected. There's no
federal government.
Well, there's no central government though to keep them all in order. Apparently.
Mm.
What Corey say?
Corey says here that Fedra was probably so brutal in Kansas City because of this resistance, stealing, killing, and putting the whole city at risk of the infected in the first place. Yeah. They weren't rats, according to Fedra. Yeah.
Maybe they didn't agree with what the resistance was doing. The resistance was putting you at risk as well. That's a good point.
Maybe they were good citizens.
Or maybe they needed each other because then Fedra could justify harsher measures, and so could the resistance. And then it retaliatory escalation just keeps going until it hits critical mass.
The duality of society.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I guess so. So we got to take it for their word that this Fedra was a bad Fedra, but these people are the good people, but they're still murdering everybody, and so they're not good people, obviously.
Well,
but they're only murdering the Fedra and the citizens. It's
and
not
everybody
the same.
else. And
I'm not saying everybody's getting killed.
Everybody.
I said they're murdering only the Fedra and the citizens.
Oh, right. Yes. And everybody else. Anybody who looks at Kathleen crooked is going to get a bullet.
Did you say you wanted ravioli this week?
Blam. You found a can you didn't share? Blam.
Right.
Yep.
You're not going to die. You just have to eat broth for the next 2 days. Is he really going to get to only eat broth? No. Kill him as soon as he goes to sleep.
Burn the body so he don't get mushroom spores.
Right. Like, gosh.
Man,
terrible lady.
The show's fun.
It's a little depressing. I understand where you're coming from, Nick. I do.
No, I do too. Because once they got through all that stuff, man, the way they did that end, whew.
I mean, I could see it from a mile away. It was ending too well. It was going too well.
Finding out Sam had leukemia was like, damn. Like, so he did this because he turned in her brother to save his kid.
That's not his kid.
Brother.
Right. Sorry. He turned in her brother to save his brother.
They should have made that his son instead of his brother, though. That would have made.
They should have made it his son.
I think that would have made more sense.
Brother, honestly, I still didn't believe it, which is why I'm still right now. Because even in my notes, I forgot to change it a few times.
Yeah, because it would make more sense that he would do that for his son. To me personally, but
if all he has is his brother, at this point, the theory would probably be he raised his brother.
Mm-hmm.
No, I get that. But that would still make that's still more of a son than it is a little brother.
At that point, though.
Because what is Henry like? Probably in his 20s, maybe mid-20s, early 30s,
like mid-20s.
Yeah.
And
his brother's only 8.
Right. So I'm thinking if they had made it his son, they would have had to, at least the discussion would have come up, where's his mom or something like that.
Well, you can assume she's dead from zombies and stuff.
There's no
or
zombies.
Fedra. Or the Fedra.
There's no Fedra apparently either.
Or Kathleen. It was Kathleen the whole time.
Probably was Kathleen. Oh,
she murdered everybody.
Right.
Kathleen would have had to be his baby moms. That would have had to be.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it is. Yeah.
That's why they didn't do that.
Damn.
Bring back my child. What? Like, all right, Last of Us, you've gone too far.
Hey, diversity and inclusion. Those are key.
No, it just wouldn't be believable.
No, it would have been totally believable because, interracial couples.
They have the same person. That part believable. What the hell? Quit. Just fucking quit it. Twisting my point right now.
Oh, my
What
bad.
I'm making is this psychopathic militant lady who really had no guidance or no goal. Like, she just wanted to wreak havoc on fucking people. And this guy who was doing so much for just his little brother, like, everything he did, including turning in her brother, is just for his brother. That is a different type of person than the type of person that she was, who's leading an entire militia.
Yeah, her pain is everyone's pain.
Yeah, that's why I found it so hard to believe that anybody would go along with this. She was like leading an army for a personal vendetta. Like those are tactical military men.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would they ever do something like that? Listen to her. Yeah, I just don't get it. Like, why?
I mean,
it's because you've never been in a revolution, sir.
No, it's because they all needed to be murdered by a giant zombie horde, which is fine with me. That's okay.
Yeah, that's the best part.
That is the best part.
I mean, who would you have expected to lead the mob, Nick?
I don't know. Oh yeah, maybe
the white guy. Did you want the white guy to be
No. Let's bring the chick from Falcon and Winter Soldier. She could be the flag smashers.
The little redhead chick with the Irish accent.
Yeah. Let's have her be the. Okay. She was a great leader, so we might as well bring her back.
She was pretty good.
She was a great resistance leader.
Yeah, and look, they already
Oh
brought Ellie back
yeah,
for
now I
Professor
remember.
Ellie. Yeah, yeah, I'm with that. I'm with that.
Yeah.
So basically, just a younger version of Kathleen.
Isn't she rapping now?
What?
The
Oh,
chick
I get
from
it. Never mind. No, stop. Just quit. Just stop.
Mm,
They saw the horde was active last episode. Yes, they did. They saw the horde. Was that last episode or the end
it
of
was
the episode?
it
Was that?
was at the very end. You see the ground was breathing.
right.
Oh, then yeah, I forgot. They never even went back to what the hell was going on there. Jesus.
I thought, you know what, and that's the kind of was what I thought was a little odd for the way they did the invasion on this episode, because
Mm,
you had the ground breathing. I'm thinking it was going to be one giant one or something big, the way the ground was moving,
Mhm.
and it's like it collapsed in a completely different area, and then they just rushed out, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, but that's a little weird how they did that.
Yes.
yeah.
Corey said here, Kathleen told number 2 not to tell them.
Right.
Who does number 2 work for?
Who does number 2 work for?
Yeah, you
I
tell
mean-
that turd who's boss. What a stupid movie.
Good stuff. Hey man, look, that's the good comedy of our youth.
Yeah.
If it was any more mature than that, we probably don't know about it.
True.
Or I don't.
I mean, very immature comedy back in the day. Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's go back to that.
I'm down. You won't sit through an hour of silence, basically. But we'll get to that.
Mm.
Maybe people won't blow their brains out at the end of it.
Every damn movie and show. Like,
I know.
does anybody want to live in TV anymore?
No.
Apparently
Nobody.
not.
Even the fantasy characters won out.
Mhm. It's true. That's how bad it is.
Save me from the cruel existence of their imagination.
What imagination.
Exactly.
Dang.
When
So,
you can almost predict line for line what's going to happen.
Well,
It's
I
just
didn't predict
recycled.
Kathleen being in her childhood home. I expected her to see a childhood person or something like that. But I mean, I guess I expected some kind of a, after seeing that first flashback, I did expect to see more of like, oh, what was Kathleen like when she was younger? So to see her in her childhood room and having that whole moment of, me and my brother, we used to sit here and he would tell me that I would be protected in these 4 walls. Like, you were a stupid, gullible child. What does that have to do with today?
Man.
Why didn't she have a significant other?
She does.
Who?
Death.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's better than what I was thinking.
No, don't you say it.
I'm just thinking to myself, man, you're only doing this because you're single. If you had
Right.
if you had anybody to go home to at night, they'd be like, "What are you doing?
She needed HVM.
Why are you waging a war against one person with all of our resources?
All the resources.
We're trying to survive out here."
Look, one young dude and his mute brother and deaf brother. Like, come on, bro. You're out of pocket.
Mm,
Actually, he's not mute. He's just deaf.
right.
Is that politically correct?
No, mute means you can't make any noise.
Yeah.
Mm.
So-
Let's not get canceled on accident.
I agree. Let's not.
I mean, if we get canceled, that mean they know about us.
That's true. We have to actually have,
More than Corey's got to start watching.
Corey could stop watching, I guess.
Hey, no, we appreciate it, Corey. Hey, wait. Oh, wait. Yeah, Corey, don't cancel us, Corey.
Yeah,
Right.
please.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Oh, my bad. Not my day.
Go ahead. No, read it, man. Go ahead.
Corey said, I was surprised that they tied up the whole plot pretty well. As long as you could get behind the crazy cakes, Kathleen being able to grift off the outrage of her brother's betrayal, it was sewed up. Man, yeah, I was trying to figure out a way to get to that. Thank you, Corey.
Summed it up pretty nicely in a little bow.
For
Mhm.
sure. I didn't understand how she was able to gloss over that so well. Like, oh, did you come here to tell me that my brother, when I was really about to get to that in the childhood room is where she says this. Did you come here to tell me that my brother wanted me to kill them? I know that. Like, nuts.
So
Yeah.
you're crazy then.
Yeah.
Like,
And then all of her people know that the guy that they are doing this for would have wanted them to not do this.
Right.
So,
And it makes me wonder: did the brother know that he only did it because of the leukemia medicine,
Probably.
Yeah, I think he probably did.
and that's why he probably felt that way, and she don't care?
You know what? This whole episode is a perfect example of mob mentality. And the only
Mhm.
problem here is the mob mentality has endured for so long with or without the panic. Like that's what her whole militia is based off of, mob mentality. As long as
Okay.
they have the numbers, they're going to be in control. And
It's also to note, I think Corey did mention it was only 12 days since they overthrew Fedra.
right.
So this could still be kind of recent. Like within her brother could have died within like the last 14 days or 20 days or something like that.
I'm thinking around 13, 14.
Yeah.
A day or
So
two, and then she and her and the resistance, because he was the leader of the resistance, her brother,
So maybe a month ago.
or one of the tops.
yeah,
I wouldn't even say that long. I wouldn't even say that long.
probably not that long. Because
They
his
already
death
had the resistance.
his death was probably the catalyst for them to overthrow the
Mhm.
Fedra anyways. So
Because
yeah.
they already
Right,
had
but
the resistance.
everything takes time.
hmm
Rally
That's
the
true.
troops, get it together and organize so we can do what we got to do.
We can viva la resistance.
And if it was like what it was 10 to 14 days after the victory, so I'm thinking about a month,
Maybe.
because they got to
Yeah.
fight the war too, not just win it. They got to fight it,
I didn't
and I'm
win
sure it didn't happen in one day.
and they cleaned up pretty well.
Right. So I
So
mean,
how long-
that's why I say about a month.
Fair enough.
But what do I know?
Wait, no. Because they said since the takeover, so that wouldn't be since the end of the cleanup. That would just be since the end of the war, at least. So 12 days ago, the battle ended. We don't know when it started.
Right.
hmm
Not the hill to die on.
No.
Not
no.
the hill.
And
Not at all.
clearly the show doesn't care enough to tell us, so we might as well not even speculate about it. Yeah.
But yeah, so
So they get through the
get through the tunnel.
they're hunting down Sam and Henry, and now Ellie and Joel, because they realize that Joel was the one that killed one of their comrades. So they're hunting them all together.
And they attacked him. He was minding his business.
Yeah,
I know, that was such an odd. I guess it makes sense they were trying to protect from
territory.
outsiders, but
Yeah, it's their territory, so they didn't know who he was, and they don't know, they attacking.
right.
Why would they assume he was automatically with Henry? That didn't even make sense though.
Because he the ops, game mentality, mob mentality, man.
Now I get that part, but if you clearly he not from around here, why would you assume he was automatically with him?
Why not?
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
See
The
here,
Reavers.
yeah, said it reminded me of the Reavers from Firefly. Like once they had done what they did to all the Fedra and all the people, they were convicted as collaborators. Yeah, and then they went feral for a while. They were still into that. Yeah, definitely the bloodlust of post-war and post-revolution.
Way to nerd reference.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Firefly.
Yeah, right.
Kathleen was just crazy. Yeah, she was just crazy. She was just crazy. So when they get into the tunnel, they saw that civilization of the underground people. That was kind of cool to see that exist. I expected them to find some civilizations or some communities that were underground, but
I'd see this show is so dark that I thought that was going to be like an underground child prison.
Dang.
Where they were
holding everybody's kids.
Yeah, because there were like bullet holes in the walls and then a whole bunch of kids paintings on them. I'm like, oh god, what the hell is this?
I think that was just to show you that after the whole community turned, Fedra went down there and just wiped them out.
Probably, yeah.
I assumed it was the bank's daycare center from when it was normal.
Maybe, yeah.
I didn't think so dark.
Fair enough.
And then when they had to go out and clear them all out, they was infected.
Oh shoot! No, I did not see that.
Yeah, there was a picture in that area where a kid had did like a crayon picture with Fedra, and it said "Our Protectors."
Yeah, that's
So
nuts. So,
something
because they
like
had
that.
pushed people down there. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so they end up coming out of the tunnel, and then that sniper, that was that old dude. He was gunning, bad aim, but he was smart enough to understand what he needed to do.
You just
Keep them
need to lay
pinned
down
down.
suppression fire. So
Yep.
yeah,
He was doing
wait for the cavalry to come.
right. Anybody except Joel wasn't getting around that.
Man, he could have surrendered. He didn't have to get killed though. He could have
He didn't
surrendered.
But here's the deal. In the situation they're in, you consider who he works for. Even if you surrender, you can't go back and tell them you got away.
Well, plus everybody in the show wants to die. So
True.
we just need to get that out of the way.
Need a
If
reason.
they're on the show, you just assume that they want to kill themselves.
Think about living through this.
Right.
And that was an old dude. He lived a good life even before this shit happened.
Right.
He was probably in the middle of his bachelor days in his mid-30s, 40s. Then this shit happened. Now he done lived 30 years of this.
Mhm.
Time to go.
Yeah, he was probably my age when it all went down.
He was ready to shoot kids and everything. He didn't care.
Damn.
You saw him. You saw him.
Yeah.
He was. Yeah, he had no problem
I'm
with it.
sorry if that sounded messed up. I'm calling it for what it is.
Oh, you.
That old dude was doing what unseen, unheard. All right, we let it that go. My bad.
Everybody want to shoot up children's.
Mm-hmm.
Did you? Oh, my bad. We just.
Cause he said ain't nothing wrong with shooting kids. They die all the time.
Oh my God! Listen,
It's true.
Kathleen was out of pocket.
Was she?
She wasn't, but she was. In this
I mean,
situation, in the grand
Yeah.
scheme of things, she was right.
True, but adding to
In
it
this
isn't.
situation, she's wrong.
You know what it's like? It's like when people are like, they'll find out that like a company can collect all your data, and somebody's like, well, they're already doing it. My response is always, so why would we make it easier for them to do
Right.
it? Like, what? Just because it is happening doesn't mean they should just keep doing it more.
Right. Like the guy who got upset when he found out that China was mapping the U.S. He was like, well, it's not like they don't have access to maps already. Like, yeah, but I don't want to have my specific address.
Right.
Wasn't that Andrew Schultz?
Nah.
Oh.
Probably some other normie.
I come across so much stuff just randomly. So yeah. I don't follow like Schultz and the rest of those. I don't like them so much.
I understand, man. I catch reels that come by.
Like he's funny. Don't get me wrong, but
you
I don't care for the.
It's okay.
Yeah. I don't care for it.
I understand.
It's gonna be very sad to hear that.
You better be goddamn, and you better like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe.
Follow the show and hear how much we don't care.
Right.
Yeah. Then we'll talk about them for the next 3 weeks.
So they corner Ellie, Sam, and Henry. While Joel had taken out the sniper, the cavalry has come and surround Sam and Henry and Ellie,
giving them some Overwatch vibes.
Power truck is coming down on them.
Joel did get a nice shot with the sniper through the truck. That was a good shot.
Yeah,
because that thing jammed on him.
Yeah, that's true. But then, just in the nick of time, Fungi ex machina. The ground, a sinkhole appears where the truck crashes, and a enormous horde of zombies pours from it and starts wrecking everything.
Just wrecking everything.
I think that was probably the highlight of the show. For sure.
I think I would have jumped back in one of the trucks and like, man, let's just run them all over as much as we can. Why are we standing out here doing one-on-ones?
Right.
True. Back into the armored vehicles. Yeah, Corey's got a good point. The bulldozer truck probably made too much noise, which
Super Zombie was big, but I don't think he's gonna withstand this 2-ton, 3-ton, 4-ton metal truck with spikes and stuff.
So is
Well,
that
but
zombie
also
like
that-
if like Shaq got infected or something? Like
that's what I'm thinking. I think that was all on Kathleen though, because she wasn't thinking like that. She had let her bloodlust and her rage get to her so much, bulldoze the cars. Like they had already said, there's cars in the way. Well,
Mhm.
that's why you're in front. Bulldoze when they're kind of like, okay. It's like, no, they consider how much noise that would make. You had then at that point, you also have to floor that dozer. So that's a
Mhm.
loud ass diesel. And then it explodes. So that's diesel gasoline exploding a big ass truck. Like
Mhm.
it was so many
And a
reasons.
fireball. So
Yeah, and a
yeah.
fireball. So
Well,
it was
you
so
know,
many
you can't have
reasons.
a car crash without an explosion in TV.
That's
True.
true.
It was so many
Very sexy.
reasons to avoid that, but she made no effort to. She actually did everything to become the catalyst to it.
I wonder if they
Mhm.
consulted Michael Bay on that explosion.
It was very Bay-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You only got one car, you gotta make it happen.
Right.
So luckily the horde takes out all of the bad guys, and Joel, Ellie, and Henry and Sam are able to escape
Mhm.
just
Somehow.
in the nick of time. But this
So we
wouldn't be
think.
an episode of The Last of Us if something tragic didn't happen.
Right.
Which we'll get to in a sec. But Corey says they should have seen that the zombie back in Billstown. It's called a bloater, and Bill and Joel killed the first one in the game. Oh, interesting.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Right.
So they could have introduced that a little bit further or a little bit earlier, and we might have had more context
Wait, if
about
it's a
what those
bloater,
are.
it probably should have exploded when it got killed then, right?
Well, I
Maybe.
would have thought it would have got shot and exploded. That's kind of how those work. But
Yeah. Right. Well, maybe they're different in that game.
well, you know, every zombie bloater is different.
So they say.
But the bloater didn't die, right? So that's probably why.
No, he didn't. Actually,
No,
I don't.
yeah, that's a good point.
He
It
took
didn't
the
die.
dude's head off, and then they just kind of faded to something else.
Right.
He went
So
on about his way. He drifted off. He didn't smell human anymore. Or hear human
Right.
anymore.
Right. But you know, we get the scene with Ellie and Sam, and they're having a little fun time with their comic book and kind of being friends, and
Being
Henry and
kids.
being kids. And Henry and Joel talk about teaming up to go to Wyoming.
How old is Ellie again? 35.
Ellie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she's
supposed to be
13,
like
13
13,
going on 42.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I couldn't remember. And the little boy is 8, so they close enough in age, I suppose.
I mean, you're the only kids you're gonna see, so you better
Yeah.
find
Right.
find some friendship.
And you like the same comic book, so that works. And so Joel invites Henry and Sam to join them, and they Henry says yes, but of course
Tragedy strikes.
something happens. Sam is worried and he's afraid, and we find out that Sam has been bitten in the ankle, and Ellie tries to save him by smushing her blood onto his wound, but that's not how that works.
That's what I said.
That's not how
Now
science
He
works.
probably just gave him more infection, accelerated it.
I actually thought I think that she was a part of the infection. Yeah, what you just said, Mike. Sorry.
Maybe.
I had to process it. Like that's what he just said.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to give him like a full blood transfusion in order for it to
I would
work.
assume so.
Yeah.
Because it would have to get into your system, and by them biting you, it's getting into your system that way. Through the
If she's got antibodies, I'm pretty sure her little sliver of blood is not going to be enough to cure anything.
You think she should have bit him?
The only way is if
Well,
she gave like 3 pints of her blood to him.
Right. I'm thinking she's going to need to give some concentrated something in her blood or more of a transfusion to actually help. And that's just not possible at the time. But then again, her blood could be infected with some stuff that just make it worse for him because it's already infected.
Right. Corey brings up a good point. I was pissed at Ellie again. I can understand her not wanting to freak Sam out, but she doesn't tell anybody, and then she falls asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have thought she would have ran to Joel and said something, but then maybe Joel would have tried to kill Sam,
Joel
and
would have
then
immediately tried to
Henry would have tried to kill Joel and Ellie, and then
that would have made for more drama.
It would have for sure, but
that's for sure how that would have played out too.
But at the same time, it's like
I expected her to fall asleep.
I don't like her. She's. I mean, I get that she's a kid, but she really ignores basic survival stuff that he's telling her. Why are you
Yeah.
telling people where we're going and what we're doing and all our business?
And that
I
you're
get
the
that you're
cure.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Right. All of it, though. I mean, she was telling them where they were going as they were traveling and wouldn't shut the hell up, making all this noise when you know he liked to move in silence because that makes sense. It
Yeah.
only makes sense.
And just
It's not like
continue.
he's ever been outside a protected wall, so he probably don't know. He's an idiot. He talking too damn much too.
Right.
You know, Henry, I mean, I'm sorry
I
for
know you're talking about.
context.
I need some.
You
Or I
know,
figured, yeah.
talking too loud, talking too much, and then when they start getting shot at from the sniper, it's like, yeah, that only makes sense since they won't shut the hell up.
Yeah.
At least it
They
was
could
a
have been
sniper.
quiet. Yeah. And a bad sniper at that. So there you
Man,
go. Right?
well, not necessarily, because like you said, maybe he was just supposed to keep him pinned down. He wasn't supposed to kill him.
True.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
true.
that's what I think his. Well, no, that was his job. She told him on the radio. You could hear her telling him to hold him in place.
Yeah. Corey said, I was like, she's immune, but Joel and Henry aren't. What the F happens
Right.
when Sam bites one of them? Yeah.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
it was negligent on her part. I wasn't mad at her for falling asleep. I was mad at her for not telling. Maybe don't tell Joel, but tell Henry.
Right.
Say
Well,
something.
telling Henry is telling Joel, because what he gonna do? He's not like he gonna sneak away in the middle of the night.
That's true. Hell, get out the room, leave him in the room by himself. So I don't know. Also, when she was running from the dozer, I just remembered this. She was running from the dozer and she just like literally unloaded her clip. What is that pistol gonna do, little girl?
And she underloaded the clip onto the sheet steel that was welded onto the.
Like,
She
I
wasn't
mean,
even pointed at the window.
If she was pointing at the window, she could have got a shot at the driver, which would have been helpful.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not like it was plexiglass or some kind of bullet resistant glass. It was probably regular windshield.
That's it.
And she just shot the ground.
Well, she is a terrible shot with no skills in running and a moving.
And a child. So yeah.
Yeah.
Bow, 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 bow.
She's a little kid, right? I was expecting some. I'm always expecting some World War Z where you just accidentally shoot yourself in the head kind of business.
Honestly, I thought she was gonna accidentally shoot Henry.
That would have made sense too.
Or Sam.
Ooh, could you imagine if he'd have hit the little kid?
Yeah, I was hoping not Sam because that would have just been too dark. But you know what? With this show,
I mean, it was already dark enough. Basically. Oh, well, not anymore.
Yeah, I do.
So Ellie wakes up in the morning and she sees Sam sitting at the edge of the bed, and thinks that he's okay, but he freaks out as soon as she touches him and tries to attack her. And the fight spills out into the living room where Joel and Henry are. And after a little bit of a scuffle, Henry very immediately shoots Sam in the head, killing him, and then realizes what he's done and shoots himself in the head.
Yep. Quick and in a hurry.
It was a tragedy.
Sit down, tragedy.
Drama porn. It's drama porn, man.
There was no emotion pull from it either, and that's why I understand exactly what you mean, Nick. Like, there's just something missing when you do those kind of things and there's still no connection.
Well, because it feels like it's just to serve the purpose of like what the Walking Dead was doing, was like, oh, zombies are scary, but we have to make sure that the humans are even worse and that life as a human is even worse. And so this show is just doing like, all right, let's introduce these characters, and then what would be the worst thing to happen? The worst thing to happen is that the deaf boy who beat leukemia succumbs to getting bit by this, and then his brother has to shoot him in the head, and then he gets so upset that he shoots himself in the head. It's like roll the dice and see how extreme you can get, and then they're like, yeah, let's do that one.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Right. I feel like the leukemia and the drugs that he takes for medicine should have been enough to keep him safe from the infection, just because.
Yeah. You think this is they have trauma dye? That's how they get their ideas?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, exactly. Also,
I mean, why
maybe
not?
just pick up some oregano oil. Oregano oil can help fungal infections. So, you know, nobody tried the holistic
Apocalypse
stuff, huh?
clear.
What apocalypse? All y'all need to do is eat healthier,
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
or depending on how you use it, some people might use it for skincare.
Watch you get to San Francisco and all the vegan hippies are just thriving because they have a whole bunch of patchouli oil and,
Right.
and oregano oil.
Blessing the clickers like they priests.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's see. Corey says that was Suffs. He said he had never been violent before. I understand the function to be super dramatic in the show, but it's not believable that Henry shoots to stop Joel and then executes his brother. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he shoots him very fast, and I guess it's because Ellie's in trouble, and Henry doesn't know that she's immune to infection.
Mhm.
But yeah, his quick response was even surprising to him because he realizes what he's done and then just wants to kill himself. So
Yeah.
I don't
But
think that he's probably nonviolent against people, but against infected, he probably still has those instincts, unless he said differently and I missed it.
I don't know. Non-violent is non-violent.
yeah, he
Hey,
said
you
the
could be
worst thing he did was give up the dude to Fedra. It's not like he killed the guy; he just
Mm.
ratted him out. Yeah.
right, but I mean, if he's surviving in a zombie apocalypse situation, there's
Kill
no
something.
way you go without killing a few zombies. There's no
Yeah,
way.
you done killed something.
Right. Like that goes back to a Walking Dead trope. How many people have you killed? You didn't had to do something to survive.
Mm-hmm.
You had to. There's no way you survive without doing something to somebody.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
But that's where this sunny episode ends, with Joel and Ellie burying Sam and Henry, and then promptly leaving because Ellie has now hardened her heart, and will probably turn into a psychopath as well. So,
What is she? Was she the Pharaoh?
what's that? Yeah, she hardened her heart.
Look, even I had to what?
Nah,
But
isn't she dead? Because she got attacked at the end by the little girl zombie and was smashing her face and it bit her.
she's fine. She can get bitten as many times as she wants. She's fine.
Yeah,
She's
I'm like,
immune.
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Super Karen can survive?
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh, I was
Ellie
talking
or
about Ellie.
Kathleen.
No,
Yeah,
I don't care about Ellie.
Yeah.
If she
know.
died, I wouldn't feel nothing.
Yeah, but Kathleen dead. That's what you talking about.
Yeah.
She out of here. Her and all her folk. They
Well,
gone.
what about the civilians that are left that weren't there?
Maybe they'll have an actual chance at a peaceful life now.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't have dialogue, so they don't exist.
Damn.
Right.
No camera time, no recognition.
Fair enough.
True.
One sound, one bet. No playing.
Do you think the zombies would have stayed right there in the middle of the street with all the bodies?
Well, Corey makes a good point. Kansas City is probably gone because of that horde.
It's so
The horde got
interesting
unleashed.
that this
Yeah.
episode takes place in Kansas City. The way it
Mhm.
goes down, it goes down.
Okay.
They didn't show this episode tonight. They showed it on Friday, and that is the same city in which the Super Bowl was won today, or they won the Super Bowl today.
Uh-oh. We're getting
how
a
they
little
did it.
Simpsons vibe going on.
Yeah, Simpsons did it.
Oh no. They're predicting something here.
Can't see it
NFL
go.
Steph Curry, congratulations.
It's the last one. Yeah. All right.
All right.
But
Well,
yeah.
you guys have anything else that you wanted to add to this?
No.
I want to see more zombie stuff and less people stuff.
Same.
I agree with
Definitely that. Yeah.
For the Hollywood elites who hear this and watch this, give us more zombie stuff and less people stuff.
Right.
Agreed. Yes. Go ahead.
I am glad that Henry and Sam won't be going with Joel and Ellie, but not in the terms in which they didn't go.
Correct.
Yeah.
They need their own spinoff, if anything.
Well, that's going to be a short-lived one. I don't know what you can spin off from this point, but Yeah.
Well, they get up and they survive some more.
Oh, okay. They get reanimated somehow.
Yeah.
There you
They
go.
go to the
Well, I
Upper
mean, the
East Side.
spores get them.
The spores get them, and then they go on a road trip to go find Joel and Ellie and kill them.
Yeah.
There you go.
Somebody delicious.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're halfway through. I think this is a 10-episode series, so we're halfway through. It's some decent stuff in this episode. I think that there was better action and better pacing. I was a little bit afraid that it might be a bottle episode, but thankfully it was not. And yeah, I like seeing the zombies, so I would like to see more of that. The human element is draining on me, and this like we're going to introduce characters and then kill them in the same episode is also draining on me. So I really hope that we can get a break from that, at least for a couple episodes. It's not that I don't want anybody else to die. It's just that like, why am I going to waste my time watching somebody who's going to be blow their brains out at the end of me watching their story?
Well, what I was told was that this is going to be very Game of Thrones like.
Everybody says they're going to be Game of Thrones like, and that just means killing people off. But it's just like, okay, but Game of Thrones fell into a pile of dog shit after 6 seasons. You know what I mean? So what part of Game of Thrones do you want to be? Do you want to be the first season where they kill Ned Stark off, or do you want to be the 7th season or 8th season when they make Bran the king and don't let Arya kill the Night King? Which Game of Thrones do you want
to be the 8th season?
The 8th season? Yeah, maybe they do. Yeah. That's probably more true than they think, right? They think they're being season 1 of Game of Thrones, but they're really being season 8.
Ooh, little whimsical surprise.
That's a bar right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right. Well, yeah. Take that to the bank.
I hope they figure it out.
I hope they figure it out too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, you guys, we're good. You guys,
yes, we're good.
Yep.
Yeah,
we're good. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, guys, so much for tuning in. We really appreciate all of you out there. We are 10% away from our goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers. So we would very much appreciate it. Well, we're 12% technically.
12% into our goal.
Yes, 12% into our goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers. We want to be able to get really paid by YouTube. And so we're hoping that we can build our channel up, and we can't do it without your help. Thank you again for tuning in with us. Corey, thank you for your comment. And we got Derpy Gaming here.
What up, Derpy?
Is back. Derpy, hey.
Are you complaining
Derpy
about
Entertainment now? Are we complaining about Sam and Henry? Yeah, of course we are. We're complaining about lots of stuff. You know us. You can put a masterpiece in front of us and we'll find a way to make fun of it a little bit. True. But that's part of the fun of entertainment. Things can be
the best
great.
Part about everything is poo-pooing on it.
Yeah, things can be great and you can still find your flaws. I think this episode was a decent episode. I think it's probably one of the more stronger ones in this series so far. But that doesn't mean that we can't make fun of it once in a while. So, and we just appreciate all of you all for tuning in with us. Again, we're at 120 subs and we're trying to get to 1,000 subs. So YouTube will actually let us monetize our channel. So we can't do it without you guys. Thank you very much. And got a couple more comments here from Derpy. Play the game then. Yeah, the game is
we actually want to play so bad.
If I had a PlayStation.
None of us have PlayStation.
Yeah, we're all Xbox heads.
Or as they say on the internet, we're all poor.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much. Corey says it's not ever going to be as good as The Walking Dead. I think the most successful thing about the show is making people want something better next episode. It's one of the best at that. Yeah. All right. I think we can all be optimistic for the future episodes for sure.
I actually agree with that.
I believe you kind of
makes me like, what they gonna do next?
True. Well, we'll find out what they do next Sunday at 8:30 p.m. As always, here at Screen Time Continuum. We're also on Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Keelan is going to be picking the next movie that we watch. Keelan, do you have any ideas? Do we know? Okay. Well,
Oh,
next
man.
next Sunday, we'll try to have it picked out so that we can let our listeners know.
We will.
And you can just shame Keelan for that.
Yeah. You see how I picked the note already. I'm like,
yeah. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. We got a podcast every day of the week, starting Tuesdays with Keelan at If Numbers Could Talk, 8 p.m. Go check out his YouTube, his Facebook, and his Spotify channel. Wednesdays and Sundays is Screen Time Continuum at 8:30 p.m. You can check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify. And also Rumble. We're on Rumble as well. Thursdays and Tuesdays, you can go check out Twitch at Strawberries and Coffee and catch Dijon the Mustard. I believe he's starting the Hogwarts Legacy, so you can catch that. You can also catch Big Mike at King_of_Ilion on Twitch, where he will be gaming. What are you playing, Mike?
Right now, I'm still playing Dying Light 2, but I'm about to switch back to High on Life.
There we go. Go check him out. King_of_Ilion. Mike, you got to change that name, bro. It's the underscores over on Twitch.
I'm seeing that.
Yeah. And he streams all the time, so make sure you hit that notification button, hit the follow so that you get notified when he jumps on. Friday nights are Exofathom at 8 p.m. You can catch us on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, and Odyssey, I believe. And then Saturday mornings are Keelan and Bobby with This Married Moment. You can catch their Facebook page, their YouTube page, and their Spotify page at This Married Moment Saturday mornings. And then right back here Sunday night, Screen Time Continuum. You know what it is. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate all of you. Thanks, Derpy Entertainment. Thanks, Corey. We appreciate you guys commenting. Thank you so much for tuning in. For Screen Time Continuum, I'm Nick.
I am Keelan.
And I'm Mike.
Thanks a lot, guys. Endure. Like, comment, subscribe.
Survive.
Subscribe.